Hi, this is Professor Angela Rasmussen from the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering at the University of Utah. And I'm going to go over the syllabus. So you can access the syllabus through the link on the sides of the Canvas course. You're going to have a little welcome video that will go through the description of the course content. And then here is my instructor contact information, my phone number, email, office number, and Zoom meeting ID. So the little video at the top goes over the description, the goals and objectives. And so I'm going to go over the other material, which is the required material. The book itself, you can get, it's part of your course fees, and so it's an e-textbook. Make sure to opt out of that if you want a hard copy or softbound copy before the deadline, which is September 4th. We're going to be using LT Spice, which that link is also in the resource location. And then you're going to need to use a webcam or microphone, or have a smartphone that will be able to show like your circuit boards for remote lab work. So make sure you have that already set up along with a strong internet connection for that. If you do not, you can check out a laptop and some of this equipment. I think they're even doing hotspots from the library, and I already sent you a link through email for that. If you didn't receive that link and how to check that out from the Marriott Library, please send me an email or look at the Marriott Library in order to see how to do that checkout for that kind of equipment. You're also going to need to upload your answers that you write for the quizzes and the exam to get partial points. And so a phone is fine again for that if you want to use a cell phone to scan it in quickly and upload it, or you need to have a scanner available. I prefer email first, but if you prefer if you want more of an interaction, so make sure you attend during my Zoom hours, or you can call me on the phone. I'm trying to make myself very available this semester, so feel free to contact me in whatever way you prefer. For phone, I may not answer because I do have a lot of meetings, so just leave me a message and I'll contact you back when I am available. And for email, if you haven't heard back from me, and if you've also left a phone message and you haven't heard back from me within 24 hours, do reach out to me again. I have a lot of communications now that we're doing a lot more remotely, and so I get like 1,000 emails and they do get buried, or I have a ton of messages and I'm not able to get through them. And so do just send that out to me again or leave me another message, and I am not offended in any way if you do that. Please do if you don't hear back from me. And I do suggest 24 hours or give it a little longer over the weekend, even though in this syllabus it says 48 hours later on. I'll be sending a doodle poll to determine office hours, and then I'll be updating this as far as when my office hours will be held. The office hours are actually more going to be like discussions, so they're going to be for those that typically can't attend during the scheduled time. I'm going to be doing additional discussions during those times also. So here is going to be the course schedule. So again, this is on the syllabus. This shows you the outline of the topics we're going to go through, their due dates, the lab work, when it is due, and the text readings. So for the midterms, it's going to be an 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. time period that you'll be able to take that midterm. For those that are in person and remote, you're going to be taking that in the same time as it's scheduled for the class. So that's going to be during the normal class period time. It's going to be proctored. For those that can't attend that time, or the additional time that I'll make available for those that are online, you will need to use ProctorU for the exams only. For the quizzes, you'll have 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. to do it at any time during that is convenient for you. All right, so performance is going to be evaluated by the assignments, assessments, and quizzes. That's going to be 15% of your grade. Lab simulations projects are going to be 25% of your grade, and then exams are going to be 60%. There's 3 exams, and they're worth 20% each. For the assignments, attendance, assessments, and quizzes, you can see here I'm going to drop the 3 lowest scores of this first one that's worth 2%, 1 score out of the assessments and quizzes. That is because I don't accept late work for any of that material. So I understand life situations come up, and so I'm instead allowing you to drop your lowest score. So don't ask me to have any makeups for any of the assignments, attendance, assessments, or quizzes. The attendance is more the participations for the discussions. And so again, those can usually be done on your own time. So it's not attendance at, per se for the exact time frame that is needed. It's an attendance that you've participated in the assignments. For labs, simulation, and projects, I actually do accept late work. Labs are not optional. You have to do all of the lab work. You're going to need a notebook, and then you're going to be scanning the notebook in. So it can be any bound book, and then you're going to want to keep that for your own records later on. But then you'll also have a copy of that up in Canvas. So make sure it's a bound notebook. You're going to, again, be scanning it. So make sure you have that scanning capability wherever you are going to be doing the work. At the beginning of each of the lab sessions, there'll be a video, or your TA will be spending some time discussing the lab work, so make sure you're on time for the in-person sections. The lab TA will be grading your lab notebook. There's also going to be quizzes where you're going to be answering some things, so that will be an auto grade, but then there'll be a grade also for your lab reports. So the lab report doesn't need to be super detailed, but it needs to contain enough information that goes over what you've done in the lab. There's going to be 3 projects. The first one's simulation only. The second one is simulation and building a prototype. And then the third one is going to be your own kind of design. And it will also have a simulation and prototype associated with it. As I mentioned, there's 3 exams. And for the final, I'm going to do an optional final, so that is a retake of any of the midterm exams, and you can take up to all 3 of them, and whichever grade is higher is the one I'll use for that midterm grade. Again, there's a couple situations where I've had students not take the exam during the semester, and then they use that final exam period to take that exam. Try not to use that, because that puts you under a lot of pressure, especially during final exam period, but note that I will accept that too. So all the assignments will be submitted on Canvas. I already went through the late policies. Quizzes and exams will not be accepted late. And again, they'll only be available at 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on the day that they are due. Lab work can be submitted late. It's 10% for the first 2 weeks after the lab period ends. And then it's up to, you can get up to 75% if it's after that date, all the way to the end of the semester. But again, try not to use that, because you won't get full credit for the labs and it puts you under a lot of stress. I will give some extra credit throughout the semester, so do look for that, and then it will also be tied to specific areas of grading. So again, the grading is outlined here with the letter score breakdown if you want to look at that in more details. If you need accommodations, please do let me know. Accommodations, especially this semester, if you need to change from remote to in-person, or online to in-person, or in-person to remote or online because you've gotten COVID or some other situation, do let me know, just so we are making sure everybody that is coming in person is keeping safe, and then I don't see you disappear if you've changed to remote and online and wondering what's going on. Please let me know what's going on in your life, so that we can also help support you with whatever is happening. If you're active duty military, do let me know if I do need to make accommodations, and I will work with you on that. And if you have a disability, please work with the Disability Center, and I will also be making accommodations if you've gone through the Disability Center. I want to also note that this syllabus is not a contract. It may be changed, and so if there's changes made, I will make an announcement throughout the semester. Please go through these expectations, both for the student and for the instructor. In here again, I said, if I haven't responded in 48 hours, but even in 24 hours, feel free to send me another request. Department policies are located here, and then college policies are here. A couple notes here. We have a new system where we're ticketing for broken equipment, software issues, etc. Please send an email to this eclabs@coe.utah.edu. Be as descriptive as you possibly can. Take lots of screenshots if it's a software issue, even if it's a hardware issue, and you can take photos to be very specific of where the location is, what was the setup, so that they can go and debug and figure out what was going on. For student concerns or other feedback, so this goes more to the department, any good or bad that goes on. If you have an award that you've gotten, we would love to hear about it. Fill out the student feedback and let us know about that award. We would love to honor you through the newsletter and even up through the college and promote whatever you've received. If it's a constructive criticism, we also want to hear that so that we can improve things. So please feel free to also submit this student feedback form. The university policies are all located here. Lots of information, so please go through that and know where it is so that you know where that resource is. And then I just want to spend another second on the COVID-19. So for COVID-19, face coverings are being required of all student and faculties throughout the campus. So make sure you are wearing, once you've parked, that you've put on your mask and are wearing your mask throughout the campus at the University of Utah. There's going to be lots of sanitizing wipes and hand and gel throughout the buildings, and then a lot of lab locations. We've modified everything so that we have very safe environments. There's going to be some study areas that are going to be available. Make sure you clean those and keep everything very clean. I would just suggest using it before you sit down and then also after you're done, just because you don't know if somebody's cleaned it before you. That way we're making sure everybody is staying as safe as possible while we are having a slight risk of being in person. The other thing that we're going to be doing in class, so that you're aware of, is a seating assignment so that we can do contact tracing if that arises. Make sure you report at this coronavirus.utah.edu if you test positive so that they can do the contact tracing and try and minimize the spread for COVID. All right, that concludes the syllabus. If you have any questions, let me know.